Christmas tree's got to go.
I know, I just haven't had time. I haven't had time to take it down.
But it's still there.
I've been doing work.
It's still there. What work have you been doing?
I just wanted you to see it one last time before I took it down.
I don't need to see it.
It's burnt orange and beautiful.
How are you guys doing in the playoffs?
Oh, we lost.
To who?
Who did we lose to?
Notre Dame?
No, we lost to...
somebody bad.
No, Ohio State.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're really good.
Terrible.
They're probably going to win.
Ohio State.
Did you see the guy who bet if Notre Dame wins the national championship, he is going to cut off his manhood?
Why?
Because he's a moron from Georgia, I guess.
Oh, he's a Georgia guy?
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
It's
Georgia.
yeah. But he's like, yeah, I'm going to follow through with it. I'm like, there's no way you're going to follow through with that. Exactly.
Just like, get a piercing or something.
He got mad at the TV because his team lost, and he's, Notre Dame wins, I'm going to cut off my wiener.
He did?
Yeah.
That's what he's
He
saying.
didn't cut it off,
If
though.
Notre Dame wins the championship?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's gonna if they beat Ohio State the next game, he's gonna.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna.
He is gonna relieve himself of his member.
That's a little aggressive.
It's so stupid.
Harper, are you a college football girl?
I want to be.
You want to be? Well, I mean, you grew up in Texas. I mean, it's a very football heavy state.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
my parents were very big NFL. Like we watched.
So you're a Cowboys girl?
Yeah, Cowboys girl.
But you didn't get into the college scene at all?
Not so much. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You're like big old UT, but
Yeah.
Hook 'em.
my family always
What?
put them down.
Why?
My mom cheered at OSU, and then she cheered at
What's OSU?
Tech.
Oklahoma State University.
Oh, sorry. There's a lot of them.
Texas Tech, Red Raiders. That's fine.
Your mom went to Oklahoma State?
Yeah, she cheered at Tech, and then she went to OSU. Cheered
So
at
she had
OSU.
two bad choices in life.
Yeah, but her thing stayed the same.
Yeah, the shooter.
Yeah, both.
Shooter
both
McGavin.
same.
Shooter, man. What?
So,
Shooter McGavin.
Shh.
pow pow.
Pow.
Honey.
Traffic was okay.
Yeah, how was traffic at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Man, I tell you what, it was shitty.
Oh,
Was it?
Yeah,
I feel
as
like
it
it's
always
always-
is.
I don't understand
When
why
it starts getting bad.
2:30 to 3 is always like the worst time.
It's,
And there's way too many people.
We're almost LA.
It's 2 till 6 now.
It's so long.
It's
Where's everyone
insufferable.
going?
Nowhere. They don't
Like,
have
why?
jobs.
Why are they driving and
They're
where are
going
they
to get
going?
free stuff from stupid people. They're going to steal everyone's electronics. and
Facebook
music.
Marketplace rage.
Ugh, I
don't
love
know.
Facebook Marketplace.
There's my alarm.
I bet you do.
To
My
wake
boyfriend
me up.
never wants me to go and pick things up because he gets a little scared. I actually almost bought bar stools from what looked to be a terrorist the other day.
Really?
Actually. Yeah. He had some very nice bar stools, and then I clicked on his profile, and he was standing in front of a giant machine gun and like other things behind him, and like was posing with like those rolly things. I should know what that is.
Rolly tanks.
You know, like like with tanks.
The fact
Please.
that you just said rolly things and I knew exactly what it was is amazing.
My boyfriend's an Army Ranger, so I should probably know what that is.
Please
yeah.
tell me you didn't go get those bar stools.
I didn't know. I
Okay,
sent
good.
them to him, and he said, "Absolutely not."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah." I had a feeling. I just wanted
You
to
almost-
double check.
Yeah, it's
You almost
the
became
ISIS
a-
flag.
Yeah, you almost became a human traffic statistic.
Yeah.
No.
I
Yeah.
got
Awful.
something the other because I love knives and I love Benchmade knives, handmade in Texas. And I was looking through the Instagram the other day.
Yeah, the Instagrams.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
this
on that
shop
right now.
came up and there's like, big sale on Benchmade knives. Everything's got to go.
Oh, did you
I'm
buy
like,
more?
dude, I'm right in the middle of my morning duties and
Are you getting me
I'm scrolling
a
through.
birthday present?
Dude, it was like 80% off.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah. I mean, I put like 4 in there. I'm getting all these knives. I may buy this building.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did
And
you?
then I went to the thing to put in my stuff to order, and I'm like, this is just one of those moments where this is too good to be true.
Oh, it was one of those sketchy sites?
Yeah, so I back out of it and I try to find it, and it's not anything. And then I go on their Instagram. Or they didn't have an Instagram page. It was funneled over from Facebook. So I went on their Facebook page, and people are not happy with them stealing their stuff.
Yeah. It's
So,
like a scam.
moral of the story is, if it's too good to be true,
It's too good.
It's too
Be
good to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually.
Welcome to Twangtown.
Have you been rolling?
Yeah.
I am David Tolliver.
And I am Colt Mirsky.
Oh, Brewski.
No, we call him Coco.
Yes, a.k.a. Coco. And today we have with us Harper Grace.
I was really hoping you were going to have the sound effect. I didn't know if it was going to be like, bow, 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 bow. Have you heard that one?
Yeah, the pew, 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 pew. No, we
I
don't
will
have
not
that one.
allow that one.
Why?
It's
You're too cool for that?
Yeah.
But we do have.
Boom, boom, boom. Now let me hear you say, way-ho.
Well,
I say boom, boom, boom. Now everybody say, way-ho. I
Way-ho.
say boom, boom, boom. Now let me hear you say, way-ho.
she loves to say
By
way
far
ho.
my favorite. We have a few buttons now.
I
We
like
have four.
that. You guys got this whole little setup. It's comfy, cozy, surrounded by,
Well,
UT.
we're just here to hear the other side of Harper Grace.
Oh,
That's right.
Yes.
we love that.
Yeah. Where were you? Don't you say? I love that.
Love that.
love that.
Love that.
It's
love
such
that.
a vibe.
I say that a lot. Sometimes I don't know. I just say
It's
that.
okay.
I say
still
what
love
the
you.
flignard too. I say Shama
I like that one.
My mom and I used to make up funny little things.
What the flip nard?
Flig. Nard with the G.
Flignard.
Yeah, flignard. Or like Shama when you like hit your toe or something. But I actually found out that Shiza I think is a bad word in some other languages.
Shiza
It's
is shit
German
in
for shit.
Oh, yeah. No, we didn't know that in
Shiza.
homeschool.
Shiza.
In homeschool, we didn't know that. But then we just learned it, so we don't actually
Isn't
say
that the
word
point of
often.
homeschools
You
to
went
know
to the
that?
homeschool?
Yeah, I went to homeschool. My school was called the Home
The
of
home of
Schooling.
The home of
schooling.
schools.
Yeah,
home
my
of
mom was
the-
my principal. She was my PE teacher, as well as the emotional support counselor and my math
Lunch
teacher
lady.
as well.
Did you wear a hairnet?
No, but
She was making your food.
she probably could have.
Could have.
Should have.
Everyone
Should
can,
have.
can
Yeah.
wear a hairnet.
They can.
They may not need it.
Some places don't because
You
I
don't-
still find hairs.
Don't
on
want
my
lice in
my
your food. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of my least favorite things.
yeah,
I can't. I'll stop the meal right there.
100%.
Are you one of those?
I will throw up.
Next time I go eat with
Well,
David, I'm going to and spitefully just turn a little
Just
hair.
any size or
I'm serious, dude.
You know what's the worst?
I'm sorry.
You know what's
Wow.
the worst is like maybe if
we're losing him. We're losing him. Oh. Do you need the trash can?
Nope.
maybe if you had
Sorry.
Man, I've known
maybe if
David
you
for
had
20 years. I didn't know this was his kryptonite.
Soup. Could you imagine eating like some sort of
Hairball soup. Ugh.
So I get up in the middle of the night the other night. I get up. I get up in the middle of the night the other night,
I want to pee my pants.
and oh god,
Imagine eating the soup and then the hair wraps around your
Just has like
I had a cheeseburger one time,
has that kung fu grip on your tongue.
and I bit into the cheeseburger, and I pulled away.
David,
There's a big long hair in it.
no way.
Yeah, but the other night, I get up in the middle of the night.
Are you okay to tell this story?
No,
I don't know if he's gonna make it.
I don't think he's crying.
I'm having a hard time, guys.
Oh my gosh, I'm literally crying. Sorry.
What
happened
I
there?
have chewy tums.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
Tear
get
rolling down the right side of his face right
Yeah.
now.
sometimes I get heartburn in the middle of the night, acid reflux.
Yeah, as one does.
So I'll pop a couple of chewy tums.
Yeah. Oh no.
No, I'm crying.
So I go in the bathroom to do a little business,
Yeah.
a little TT. No,
Oh, TT,
just number
not the
one.
poop poops.
No,
Great, got it.
I throw a couple of them chewy tums in.
No phone required.
I go to chew them on them.
Were they in your pocket or something?
No, they were in a. But I'd had probably one of Jenna's hair.
What?
One of Jenna's hairs on my
Oh no.
beard or something,
Why?
and it got caught up in that chewy. Yeah,
Was it locked in your teeth?
Could you feel the
I did the whole thing that I just did right now. She knows exactly what's going on.
could you feel the crunch of the hair fiber?
No, it's just that it's not right. It's stringy and it's long. Nope, and it won't break. You're like, that's not sugar.
Why can you not get hair out of your mouth when it's in there? Why does it take 30 minutes of digging and clawing?
Yeah.
Because God hates us.
Is that her
Not
is that her
No,
punishment?
I really think. I know I'm not going to hell because I love the Lord and His Son Jesus Christ.
Yes.
But if there's a hell and there was a special part for me,
That's it.
it would be eating hair
Eating hair.
fed by spiders.
Oh yeah. The spiders are definitely going to be there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
Did
your?
you know statistically?
Don't throw that shit where
That-
you eat 18 spiders.
Yeah,
a
when you're
night.
sleeping or
There's
something.
no way, man.
I just don't think that's true.
I always wake up hungry.
Yeah, I mean, if you had that much fiber with, the spiders in the night, you
All
think
those
you'd be
eyes.
fine. But, yeah.
So
Well,
judgy with all
that
their
was
eyes.
a very, I enjoyed that story.
I'm so sorry.
And I think that I want you to tell more hair stories.
No.
And I might,
I'm back now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
might one of these days just stick one in your meal, just for the heck of it.
Bro.
Just take one of
Bro.
mine.
Yeah, you got really long
But
hair.
then, really initially, just strategically tie it around something, just so you wouldn't.
Make sure you get the whole hair in the mouth.
No.
Yeah.
That's
I
hilarious.
mean, I love Jenna. She's my love of my life, but even her hair,
our hair falls out.
it does.
It does.
I don't have that problem.
I mean, we put a lot of heat to it, and if you just brush a little bit, I'm sure by the time I get up off this couch, you'll find some remnants.
Yeah.
It just falls
Remnants.
out.
Yeah. Shaggy dogs.
Yeah, it happens.
Where you from?
I'm from Texas.
What part of Texas?
About an hour north of Dallas. We grew up in a small town called, well, I guess it's not quite small anymore, but Coppell, Texas is where I grew up.
Coppell?
Coppell, yeah.
Cop Hill.
Yeah, because there was a lot of popo up in there,
Oh.
Speeding tickets, a lot.
Did you all name this town?
Coppell.
Did you all name this town this, or was this?
You would,
No, I
you would
just-
pronounce it couple,
Yeah,
but
people
that-
do say
but
Coppell.
Texas has got a lot of
Coppell.
different ways of saying things.
Coppell,
Green
Texas.
Texas.
Well,
is
these
spelled-
idiots down the road called Maury County. It's not even spelled close to it.
in Lafayette.
I just called a bunch of people idiots down the road.
Yeah.
Maury. What's it spelled? Maury.
Maury.
Maury Povich.
Oh, I didn't hear
Really?
the A. I didn't hear the A. I thought you said
It was the
M-E-R.
second letter I said.
I
Do you
just didn't
do you
hear
know
it.
who Maury Povich is?
It's Maury
Maury
Povich.
Povich is?
Yes,
Who?
I know his name.
You are not.
I'm
the father.
just joking, Harper. Harper's
It's
only
fine.
been alive for how many years now?
23.
23 years.
23 years. One day, your little baby girl's gonna be 23.
Sweet little Harper was still in diapers when I first started at Curb, I guarantee it.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
But you look so
God.
young. Not that one over there. I don't know how old he's. Probably in his 50s, but
Yes.
yeah.
Very old.
I am not in my 50s. Ass.
I just messing with you. Now
Yeah.
that I know you are quick to vom.
Yeah. Oh, I
just wanna push all
I will
buttons.
hurl spew chunks. It's
That's
ridiculous.
disgusting.
Did you grow up doing music?
I did. Well, my first thing that I
You
was,
sang in church.
Well, I did sing at church, but my mama had me in gymnastics. That was she was an elite gymnast, and I was bound to follow in mom's footsteps.
That's right. She was a cheerleader at
Yes.
OSU
Yes,
and
and the
Texas
Texas
Tech
Tech.
Red Raiders.
Yep. And
Pew,
so
pew,
she was very adamant on me being in gymnastics. I was training so many hours a week in gymnastics. I was Olympic hopeful program, and
Really?
I was in the tops program at a really young age. I did probably 500 V-ups every single day of my life.
No clue what that
And
is.
What is
it's
a V-up?
where you lay on the floor and your hands and your feet come in perfect posture all the way up and touch at the top. And then go
Your
way
hands and
back down.
feet?
Yeah. So you're laying completely down.
But
with
that's a
your
great
hands on
ab
your-
workout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just a very strong little girl.
Yeah.
But
I can't even make that happen in my mind. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing it with my body.
our gymnastics coach was in the Olympics, and she was from Russia. So
Did she
was
have
very
nice
hardcore.
calves? Did she have good calves?
She was very much in shape.
You don't have to answer that. That's
Yeah.
just for David.
Well, she was, yeah. No, but I spent a lot of hours doing that. But then every time I'd come home from gymnastics, I'd, go and sing in my closet or just sing around and try to perform in front of the TV when my parents watched American Idol or something. But yeah,
Was mama or daddy a singer? Is there any musical
No.
stuff on your side of the family?
literally the only form of music in my family, my Nana played the accordion. And that's
Nice.
where I say that I genuinely fell in love with country
Yeah.
music, because my nana listened to like Dolly Parton and Roy Orbison and like Loretta Lynn and all the people. So
the accordion is an underrated instrument.
It's so
I am a big polka fan.
Yes.
I'm a closet polka. I'm actually not a closet polka fan.
You're now outed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My father-in-law plays the accordion.
It's such a cool instrument. And like, I love it. I actually wanted my nana to play the accordion on Jolene that I released this year. She had gotten kind of sick prior to her coming out, but I tell her that one of these days I'm going to bring a writing retreat to her house and we'll just get her to
there you go
yodel and do all the things and sing on my songs because she can kind of carry it too. And she did teach me how to yodel at a young age, and so she's the music one in the family.
Have you been keeping your yodeling up?
Oh yeah.
You want to give us a sample of your yodel? This will be a first on the Twingtown podcast.
Absolutely not. I love you.
Oh, come on. Don't tease us like that. You did the throat clear and everything.
Oh, goodness.
You don't. Well,
I actually haven't yodeled in a hot second. I haven't even sang today because I didn't have a writing session.
No. Well.
Chime bells are ringing. Your lady. Mockingbirds are singing. Your lady. Oh, hush, little lover. Your lady up on a summer's eve. Your lady, 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 your lady.
Wow.
Yay!
I thought I was in the Swiss Alps there for a second.
I need a recall.
That wasn't perfect, guys, okay? But
yeah, but that's just... There's a lot of things going into it there, and it's very impressive.
I love how you actually went into it. I was like, we're going to get a little snippet. And she's like, no, I'm doing the whole routine.
I was expecting a Luke Bryan, you know.
Got a lady here.
Aww. Yeah. No, but Nana did teach me how to do that.
Cool.
So it is kind of fun. You know.
You said you were homeschooled.
Yeah, that's why I'm so weird.
Okay. Did you go homeschooled through your whole education, or did you go to high school somewhere?
I went to middle school and... Oh, my tummy's rumbling. Excuse me. I don't know if y'all heard that.
She farted.
You don't have to starve yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm just on this little Jesus train right now. It's the beginning of the year. You always, press into the prayer and the fasting, Lord. So that's where I'm at. In the name of Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Anywho, what was I saying before you asked me? Oh,
middle school.
School. Yeah, I only went to like public school half of 5th grade and half of 6th grade. My mom had like a crazy accident where she like fell and cut her major artery and like 6 tendons in her hand.
Wow.
And
on a chainsaw?
No.
Oh.
I wanted a lizard on a family trip, and she took a jar and a sauerkraut jar and was climbing on the wall trying to get it for me because I really wanted this lizard, and it was a very interesting looking lizard, but she slipped off and then fell on top of the glass jar, and the glass jar like cut it perfectly. It was really, really bad. Basically, the only reason she was alive was because she had a major her one of the arteries had a blood clot, but like she should have died because of the blood clot as well. So the Lord really did save her life.
That's a good coincidence.
Yeah,
whatever the words are.
That's crazy.
So she couldn't teach me for the time of her recovery, but that was also like not the greatest years of my life in school. I didn't really have a great school experience.
No.
You
didn't like the other children's?
Yeah.
Well, y'all may know, but obviously some people don't. But I was the worst national anthem singer ever.
This was in that time frame.
Yeah.
Hey.
So let's pivot and talk about that.
Yeah. So with nobody really doing music in my family, I was invited to sing the national anthem, and
so how far were you into your singing career when you decided to sing this national anthem?
I was 11, but I dropped out of doing gymnastics when I was 6 or 7, and like we had a piano that we got from a donation garage sale from my family because my family does mission work in Africa, and we would get things donated and we'd sell it and go build water wells or whatever the Lord is making an opportunity to do. But I fell headlong into just writing songs about shampoo, conditioner, and homeschooling when I was like 7 on the piano. And I kind of like started, like writing small songs and really falling in love with the piano. And my Nana got me a guitar. And then there were like little places, coffee shops that I like kind of started singing cover songs at. And then little middle schools had asked me to come and sing at their games. And I did that. And then I guess I did like a minor league Dallas Stars hockey game. And we had kind of posted a video, and the people who ran the FC Dallas games had saw it and invited me to come and sing. And so my family didn't really follow along with like soccer that much, and so had no idea that it was like major league and such like a big crazy thing. So that game was actually the game that we were playing LA Galaxy, and David Beckham was actually in the Olympics. And it was like honestly the perfect setup because they streamed the game live, and they told us that it wasn't going to be live. And they not only had my anthem playing for the sport teams on the television and the channels. But because David was at the Olympics, they just made sure that like worldwide everyone was like up to date with David's team, you know? So little 11-year-old Harper who had no sound check and couldn't hear herself and thought that a 2.8 second delay in microphone thought that she had to wait for herself to come back to herself to sing the rest of the lines.
Bless your
when
heart.
it should have been like a minute and a half. It was like 3 minutes long. So, little old me is playing on the commercial break of the Olympics worldwide. And not realizing any of that until the next morning, and like reality kind of hit for my parents, and I woke up to them like kind of crying and not understanding how they were going to approach the conversation with me. And I was just so smart enough to go on my own little iPod Touch and look up my name, and like literally the first comment that I read as an 11-year-old was like, this girl is literally the reason why abortion should be legal.
Wow.
Oh my!
telling
These
me-
people are
with people.
so mean.
So wait, let's back up.
Yeah.
So in the moment, you finish the song, you power your way through it. What was the reaction of the fans in the stadium or stands or whatever?
It was a sold out game, 22,000 people.
Did you get booed, or were they all like?
It was like a slow clap, and also like they posted the video. It had over 1 million views in less than 24 hours. But like in the video, they panned to the audience, and like the faces are like looking around, like, is this girl serious? Like, what's happening? But I mean, immediately when I started, I knew I couldn't stop and start over because it'd be more of an embarrassment. So I just like looked at my mom, like, oh crap, that ain't right, and just kept on going. But
It's a lot of pressure for 11-year-old.
yeah, 3 people out of 22,000 said good job to me, and the rest of them just like kind of gave me the like up, down, and crazy face look.
Wow. How can you be so judgy towards an
Dude,
11-year-old?
I'm telling you what, I've sung that song thousands of times.
Yeah.
I will never do it again.
It's crazy.
Here's why. It's you screw it up, and you are just
You're labeled an idiot
demoralized.
forever.
Yeah.
If you do it perfectly, nobody gives a shit.
You get a thumbs up and a, all right,
Nobody
we're
cares.
moving on.
Pat on the back or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
Who was that last person who just murdered it?
Well, Fergie dethroned me.
Ingrid.
Oh, Fergie.
Fergie
yeah, she had a
dethroned
bad
me.
one. She finally took
That
the heat
was
off
great.
of you.
Yeah.
Was it Ingrid Michaelson?
Ingrid.
Andrews.
Andrews.
Andrews,
Ingrid. Oh yeah. She did it so bad she went straight to rehab.
That's
It's really
That's
sad.
how you know.
But honestly, like it's extremely hard and extremely sad. Like,
You should have just blamed your performance on
I
alcohol
was
too.
right. 11.
Yeah, 11.
I was titled top 5 worse than Christina Aguilera and Steven Tyler and Roseanne Barr. Like all these people that have like also had a not great experience. But it is genuinely hard to know that, I said when I was younger that I believed that a lot of people just had internet courage, I believe it's very rare for someone to really straight up say something like that to your face as a kid.
Sure.
Or just anybody in general. Like there's just a confidence that you can get behind a screen knowing that you can hide behind it. And it mostly ached my heart as a kid knowing that people hurt so bad that they felt like they needed to tear somebody else down.
Sure.
And I think for, growing up in a missionary home and just being continuously told as a little girl that like I can do anything I set my mind to, like you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Like my parents were very encouraging. And so through that experience, rather than like, you know, thinking it's detrimental and I'm never going to do it again, it was more so like I felt so bad for the people. Like the first reaction after reading those things, what I was sad and also taken back and also didn't really know how to process. But the only thing that I knew to do was to pray. And so I like got a journal, an empty journal, and I like started writing down all of the usernames of people from the YouTube channel and just prayed for them. And
That's amazing.
thanks. And I was just reminded of like the thing that the Lord said before, you know, he died on the cross. I was like, Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And that's genuinely the position that I felt like. I was like, you know, they don't know me. They're sitting behind a screen. They've probably been through a lot of hardships and pain, and like this is their way of expressing it. And my thing too is like, if somebody, I knew that God had a plan for it, and slowly but surely he proved that. And I'm still, you know, 23 and walking through it now. And I've just been humbled a lot by it, but just, you know, getting the responses that have come out of, being able to share my experience. It's been so sweet to know that there's been more than one who have figured out their purpose in life, which is, you know, to live and to know that God made us all for something so different. And I always said if it was just for one to go through living hell like that, to know that they can find eternity with the Lord, like I would do it for the one person. Because
good on you,
well
dude.
said.
Thanks.
I like you a little more now.
Thanks.
Like I liked you before. but
Yeah, we
like,
picked on each other
yeah.
now, you know.
Well, you know, we're like siblings here.
Yeah, it's great.
We're like siblings here at Curved Word Music
We
Publishing.
really
That's
are.
right.
Yeah. So after that whole thing, where you got through it. It sounds like you handled it very. I mean, look, I was a kid singer too.
Yeah.
So I got picked on. I came from a town of 600 people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they did not like me at all because I got to do things, go places.
Yeah.
And, you know, very jealous. Jealous breeds
That
bullying.
always happens, I feel like.
But you've come out on it the other side very well.
I've
What
tried.
after that did you do? You were like, did that just cement yourself? You're like, look, I'm going to prove. First, I'm going to pray for these people, and then I'm going to prove all these people
Yeah.
wrong.
I think there was definitely some because what got us to this point of the story was like the whole school aspect. Like I did go to public school and like was shoved in half-size lockers, and kids threw deodorant sticks and hairspray cans at me. I always say like if you could think of the worst thing possible, whether that's cyberbullying, emotional bullying, physical bullying, like all of it, I can very much like confidently say that I've
Kids are cruel, man.
They're so mean.
heard it all,
They're
done it
s-
all, but even like outside of kids, like adults, you know, like I've experienced all of it. But you know, where I'm at now, I've tried a lot to kind of prove to myself and the people that said things, you know, because I think that in that case, I kind of used it as ammunition and like gas to my tank.
Yeah.
I think it created a lot of drive and determination to know that I believed that I loved to sing, and I knew that, and I found enjoyment in it, and I didn't care what anybody else said. I found confidence in it, and a lot of that, again, had to do with, you know, my parents and like the affirmation that they, you know, gave to us as kids, and, you know, reminded us what the word said that we were, and I do really appreciate that, because without it, I don't necessarily know how I would have been able to handle that whole situation if I didn't have faith in the Lord. And yeah, but it is crazy. I've actually I've sang the National Anthem now, I think 17 times in different like professional stadiums and arenas, and done that on what we like to call the Redemption Tour.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome that you took it and made it into a positive thing, because probably most people would have taken that as a negative. They'd be like, oh, that was terrifying and horrible.
Yeah.
I'm never going to sing again.
Oh my gosh,
But you're
yeah.
like, no, I'm going to show y'all what's up.
Yeah, and honestly, like I'd be lying if I said that didn't ever cross my mind.
Well, sure,
like,
especially when you're 11 years old.
Yeah, especially
terrified.
as a kid, like, you know, the people that constantly said you shouldn't do this, you should be like, you suck. Like, I mean, it was so bad, but I don't know. didn't want them to be right.
Sure.
Good on you.
Thanks.
Good on you.
It's still challenging though. Like, it's so weird because every once in a while it's been over a decade and like people will call and sing the national anthem on the phone and like Star 67 prank call, and you're just like, I'm like, great, thanks guys. I'm glad you haven't gotten over a decade ago.
All right.
But-
So now when you go to sing the anthem, or at least say when you started the Redemption Tour, any like nervous butterflies, or were you like, no, I got
my
this?
gosh, absolutely not. When it was first presented to me to go back and like sing it all, I was like, heck no. Like, I was like, that ain't gonna happen. I really, I mean, I said no many times, until I like finally had the perspective of like, and what I believe is like, we all have a testimony. Some people's testimonies don't look like they walked through, you know, these crazy, crazy hardships, and they just, you know, chose like walking in a great way, and the Lord's just been faithful, and that's amazing. But sometimes people have some really dark, crazy, horrible times, and that doesn't make them like set apart in a poor way. Everybody has their own story and everyone has their own testimony. And so I actually had a like a little dream or vision, if you'd say, in a time of just talking to the Lord, and he had shown me this big puzzle piece, and I was kind of going at it and trying to put in this one puzzle piece, and it wasn't fitting, and then the Lord like took the puzzle piece out and like put one in for me. And initially it was kind of, to me in that moment, was a like kind of represented a relationship for me. But then as I kind of thought more about it, the Lord's kind of put a perspective of life in general as this big picture and puzzle, and it's got all these pieces to it. And if I were to go, you know, take out the anthem story, there's always going to be a missing piece. And I think for a while, a lot of times, like certain people of my team that are no longer a part of my team had really pushed to no longer be the anthem girl and like kind of take that part of my story out. And I always just wasn't very appreciative of that, because at the end of the day, like, this is a piece of the story that God wanted me to walk through, and I did walk through, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm so grateful that it happened, and it made me who I am today. But walking back into, you know, singing the anthem again, I knew that I couldn't remove the piece, and I knew that if God wanted me to go back in and do it and find redemption, that he was going to do something in my heart and in my spirit, and that it was more so for others than it was for me. And I finally kind of came to the conclusion of like, you know, if I find confidence in the thing I'm afraid of most, then that can be somewhat of an encouragement for somebody that needs it. And so it was very hard. The first one I ever did back, I don't even remember which game it was, but I could hear my younger self in my head. So like the trauma was so much still there that all I could hear was my little 11-year-old self like screwing up. And I sang it, and you know, that's what it felt like. I cried beforehand, and then the next one we kind of had some like fussle with the lady who was running it, and she was really rude, and like just the awareness of like my past with it wasn't really taken into consideration. And that's something that, you know, the John Clore, who works here at Curb, has really tried to do, is make sure that the environment is like really set, because it is such a traumatic experience for me. And so, you know, there was certain situations where I didn't get a sound check, or like just little bits and pieces that reminded me a lot of that day. And it was hard every time, but slowly but surely, each time that I had faced my fears and just done it, it's like little chains would like fall off at a time. Mm-hmm. And by the time I sang at a St. Louis Blues game, it was like, I think the 7th time, which I'm a big like numbers person, and I have a little 7 tattoo because I think
favorite
like,
number.
Yeah, it's my favorite number. It's like the number of completion and achievement, and it's a holy number. It's how many times they walked around the walls of Jericho before it all fell down. You know, hallelujah.
7 little chipmunks crawling around a branch, eating lots of sunflowers on an uncle's ranch.
Right? Oh wow, look, that rhymed. But yeah, I was the 7th anthem at the Blues game. And like the time I did the rehearsal, I turned around and like looked at my mom and looked at Clara and I was like, I can't hear my younger self anymore.
Aww.
And my, like that moment was really big for me. And that was the first time that I found confidence a little bit in singing it. It got easier and easier. It's still traumatic. Like the last time I sang it was at the Titans preseason game, and that was like the first time that I ever was like, you know what, like I got this, like I'm good to go, and I love singing this song, and this is great, and like kind of still got nervous, but like didn't really let those thoughts take over too much, and like, you know, the Bible says take captive every thought, and I would just practice that. And I kind of took a little liberty and like flipped up into my little head voice on Land of the Free.
You did
and
not.
I gave it a little twist, and I was like, man, look at me. I found a little bit more confidence. So, but it's been a journey, and what's beautiful is that I have a very big passion of going into schools and foundations, and that's something that I really hope to do this year. But just with like middle school and high school, and sharing the journey that I've walked through and what I've done to find confidence. And facing your fears is one of the biggest things you can do to jump over such a traumatic hurdle, to really take captive of what you want to do and what you believe is your purpose. And I think I was like supposed to walk through it so that I can help others be able to do the same thing. And
sure,
it's not always easy, and sometimes I'm like, oh, what the heck, but you know, here I am.
I absolutely agree with everything you said. However, my fear of spiders will never. Yeah, I will never embrace that.
I'm not sure if you should just like sit in a room with. Like I also wouldn't.
I've made a deal with them. If you stay hidden, we're fine.
Yeah.
But you come with them 18 eyes out. Ugh. You know, and I'm gonna kill you
within striking distance.
You.
But like, what about daddy long legs?
They don't bother me really.
Those don't bother me. I used to let them like crawl on my arm as a child. I was like,
because they can't bite you.
Yeah.
So they're,
well, did you know that they can't bite you, but they're
the most poisonous spider.
Spiders.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
Yeah. I think y'all are both wrong.
Like
no, it's true.
I think you looked it up wrong.
No,
I looked it up on the wrong Google.
Wrong Google. You gaggle.
You was wrong.
Gaggle.
How did you end up here in Nashville? What is that story? What does that look like?
Why did you move here?
Why did I move here? I asked myself that. I'm just kidding.
And when did you do that?
I was like infatuated with Nashville for some strange reason. Nobody talked about it in my family. I have genuinely no idea why I even knew about it. I think maybe because like Taylor Swift said it in like a song or something, or like, I don't know, something about that. I feel like, I don't know. I listened to Christina Aguilera and Norah Jones and as well, and maybe they mentioned it. I have no idea. Just my childhood heart was so eager to be in Nashville, and so for my 10th birthday, my parents surprised me to come to town, and my parents joke around and be like, I was like the navigator the whole entire time. Like I told them where to turn, told them where places were. Like I'd never been in Nashville before, but I was like,
crazy.
this is down like
at 10 years old.
Yeah, I just like knew it all, knew where Broadway, like knew just all of it. And my parents were like super taken back, like how the heck does she know anything about Nashville? I couldn't even tell you. But I cried because that was just a stopping point on our way to the beach, and I thought that I was like, oh my gosh, why are we leaving Nashville? I don't want to leave. I did not want to go to the beach. I wanted to stay in Nashville. But it was actually crazy because that trip, my parents knew a guy who was good friends with Rascal Flatts' manager, and we got to like go and tour his office and like meet him, and he drove us down like Music Row and pointed at every single building and practically told me that, you know, I'm really good, but, you know, it's very hard to get into these buildings and you'll probably never be able to step foot in one.
Wow.
And like kind of like shot down my little kid dream. And this was like obviously before the anthem, but I just remember that so vividly, like driving before we even reached the little roundabout and him pointing and just saying that. And I was like,
what a turd.
I know. I was like, well, I think his name was Jeff, actually. I think it was Jeff. Maybe I'm wrong.
Do you have
I think
to say
it
it
starts
like
with
Jeff?
a J. Jeff. I don't know. But yeah, he was not nice. And so, anywho, I was very adamant to
Again,
come
you
back
got someone else to prove wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here I am. And I probably stepped in every darn building up in here, Jeff. So I tell you what.
Jeff.
No, but I was really adamant on being out here and being a homeschool kid. Like, you know, I had a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when I wasn't, you know, doing school or taking the chickens outside on a
Hairnet.
walk. Just kidding.
Wow.
I didn't do that. I didn't have chickens. I wish I did.
Oh.
But I presented my mother and father with a whole schedule. I went on Wikipedia and I searched my favorite songs. I searched my favorite like albums. I searched who wrote them, who played on them, who was just the guy that sat in the room, like names, as many as I possibly could. And I sent out emails and Instagram messages, and like 14 years old was just like, I'm going to plan a week of coffees. Like, I'm just going to go and get coffee with people. And so I sat my mom down and was like, here, in 2 weeks, Monday, I have a 9 a.m. meeting, a 3 o'clock meeting, a 6
I need you
o'clock
to
meeting.
drive me over to
Yeah, I was
Nashville.
literally like, we're going to have to be in Nashville in 2 weeks. And she's like, what the heck? And so just prepared my whole entire trip. And we drove down here and just like, I love talking to people, as you can tell. Sometimes I just don't shut up. But I just made the relationships and tried really hard. And Nashville did what Nashville does best and connected so many people, and so many little bits and pieces were sewn all up. And I just kept making trips out here. And then I signed here 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago.
Who from here heard you?
Actually, Laurel, while she was still here, a year before I had met her, it's a crazy story, but I went to a church. I went to the Belonging, and I was praying about what God wanted me to do while I was in Nashville. I think it's so funny, and I still do this to this day. And obviously, like, people who are like a little bit older than me, like, are like laughing because they're like, you're so young. But I just remember at like 15 and 16 being like, Lord, nothing's happening. And I'm just hard working, you know, I'm in Nashville doing this or whatever. But
Lordy, don't the wheels turn slow.
I know. But honestly, like, I love it. Like, there's so much time to learn. And like, I'm still in a learning phase. I'm 23. I don't know it all. Like, I'm now embracing the time and the slowness and the stillness of, you know, just taking your gosh darn time in Nashville, because it's not a rush, you know, it's going to happen when it happens. And so, yeah, I was praying because I was like, Lord, what do you want me to do? This is crazy. I've been out here. Ain't nothing happening. I'm, 18 and ain't no record deal yet. Are you kidding me?
Been here 5 months.
Crazy, right? And this woman comes up to me, and the Lord kind of showed me a really sweet picture, and I saw just an image of me performing somewhere, and I was like, okay, Lord, well, if that's actually what you want, then I need you to get homegirl on my far left to come around and touch my shoulder and like pray over me and touch my right shoulder, because she's over here on the left. And I was like, because I don't know, I just thought it would be fun to challenge.
Deals with the Lord.
I was
then.
like,
yeah.
I was like, is that really what you want me to do? Because it was it was a really cool stage, anyways. And so literally, like, within the next minute, homegirl comes over and taps my shoulder and starts praying over me, and I just like start crying, and she gives me this word. She's like, I don't know, but when I was praying over you, God gave me the word detour. And she's like, so I don't know if you need to like take a different route home or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay.
A different route
That's
home.
scary.
Jeez.
Also, I'm like, I don't want to get
like
in
any
a
of
car
that.
accident. Detour. What if I take the wrong turn, you know?
Talking about my career.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
like, right? What is happening? So I didn't really think too much of it, and honestly didn't see detour signs the next day, and like kind of thought about it. Well, it wasn't until like a few months later I was down here and I was leaving a writing session, and I was I think I was at like Sony that day or something, and was driving down Music Row at 2:30, and like nobody was out here. Everyone was like, the streets were just dead, like a tumbleweed could pass by.
Well, that's
and I was
random.
like, very random. And I was driving around like, this is so odd. Driving to my next session, I used to do like doubles because, I was young and I just had so much energy.
All the energies.
All the energy for the double sessions. And I like pulled up, and this little construction guy was holding a stop sign. And I'm like, for the love of Pete's sake, why are you holding a stop sign? There ain't nobody driving around here. I don't understand. And I'm looking around, And he's just standing there. There's no cars coming. And I look around me and there's like a detour sign. And I'm like stopped in the middle of like right when you pull out that one-way turn where it's like curb in front of you, curb on the right, and curb on the left, and like curb behind me. And I was like, okay. And at this point, like I had been in Nashville for a while and I had a handful of management, like Selena Gomez's mom and stepdad. Their management company was LH7, and I had been with them for a little bit. And, you know, coming from LA and coming into Nashville, it's just very different vibes. And so a lot of relationships didn't quite, you know, work as well as I think they had hoped. And I had to kind of mend a lot of different bridges. And Curb was actually the only place that management company did not take me to. And so I just thought it was really interesting. And obviously with the detour sign, I was like, this is crazy. Well, then the guy lets go and I start driving in the detour arrows, and all the arrows have me like circling Curb, like just left turn, left turn, left turn, left turn, left turn. And I'm like, for the love of Pete. So by the time I'm like left turning about 7 times, I was just praying. I was like, you know what, Lord, I don't know, but if I'm supposed to go in that building and something's supposed to happen, I just pray that you let it happen. And then all of a sudden, the guy with the stop sign goes away and there's cars on Music Row. And I'm like, take another left turn, and then the other detour sign's gone. So then I just keep driving straight. I'm like, what in the world?
So weird.
It was just the weirdest like pause in time. And it was weird. So I drove home and then just kind of prayed about it, but like brushed it off because I didn't want to get any like hopes up or whatever. And then a whole year went by, and that's when Laurel, I guess, had heard my song from something, and they had emailed it to her, and she reached out to me and said she'd love to like get coffee and sit down and have a meeting. And I was like, oh, well, that's crazy. And so I prepared myself and just prayed about it. And then before I had come into the building that morning, I drove around seven times. Yeah, I really did actually. Kind of like, I was like, Lord, I don't know, but drove that same little left turn area, all circled around Curb, and I came into her office and I told her that same exact story. I was like, listen, I don't know what this is like means, but God did this in my life, and this is kind of crazy. And from that, I think they came out to Dallas and watched me perform, and then I came, you know, back to Nashville, and Nina was working here and she helped book some rights, and then COVID hit, and I was like, my world is ending yet again, and I'm never going to be a singer.
It was a good time.
Yeah. So obviously we know what that was like, but as soon as that passed over, Sierra, I had known since I was first making trips to Nashville because I somehow like got looped into the Radio Disney Country team, and so she and I kind of had a relationship, and I just remember sitting in her office like when I got back into town, and I was like, can you maybe help me with some writing sessions? And she started booking me writing sessions, and then I just told her the same story, and I was like, listen, like, and at that point, people had kind of started talking about signing me and had some other offers on the table, and then Sarah's like, I think that we want to do like publishing with you. And then Coco calls me on FaceTime.
Coco did?
Well, we sat down first. Yeah. But before you FaceTimed me, Sierra was like, you need to meet Colt.
Yeah.
And we went to the Palm.
The Palm.
The Palm.
Palm?
Yeah, he took me to the Palm.
That's bull crap.
I know. That's like.
Took me to Ruby Tuesday, bro.
Me and Harper sitting across from each other on a table about this wide.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We sat and I practically told you the same story about the detours.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it was all that, and then all the. I remember you telling me all about your family's mission trips to Africa, and then your whole testimony, and it was.
I just
traumatized. Pretty inspiring. I was like, oh man, I guess something's here. But I remember one thing that really sold me on you, because as a publisher, you're always hesitant, you know, because before you sign somebody, you got to be like, really want to work with this person.
Yeah, seriously.
And you did some cover on your Instagram. What was it? Was it a Chris Stapleton song or something? And you sang it, and I was like, holy crap. Like, okay, this girl can sing. And I can't remember if I saw that after or before we met, but all that lined up, and I was like, okay. I was like, I think there's something here. Maybe I better pull the trigger.
Yeah. And that,
and here we are.
Yeah, you and Sierra FaceTimed me and told me the great news.
The great news.
On a group FaceTime, and I was like, no way. I remember TMI, but I was just deathly ill with, every once in a while Aunt Flo comes into town for them ladies, and, I was sitting on the couch. Yeah, I was sitting on a couch of my friend's rental house and dying, thinking I was like, I don't know, it was painful, but my day was not great. And then I sit up real quickly when I'm getting a call, and I'm like, what's this about? They're double FaceTiming me. That's so weird. And then I answer it, and I screen recorded it because I had a feeling that maybe like something good was going to be awesome. I actually genuinely still have this screen recording. And
scary.
And they told me the great news that I was signing the pub deal.
Oh,
hooray!
And I was extremely, extremely happy. And then a little later, did the whole record deal. Literally
put out some music.
Yeah, put out some music.
When was that? Was that 2021?
Yeah,
Something like that?
something like that.
Ugh, it goes by so fast.
Oh,
It really
it's actually
does.
on my computer. I just moved all my stuff over, but I do remember seeing it the other day, the screen recording of you and Sierra. But yeah, so that's how I wound up here. Crazy story.
That's crazy.
It is bizarre.
okay?
It's bananas.
Were you
Yeah,
gonna choke?
I forgot to close my not swallow hole.
That's concerning.
Yeah,
The windpipe.
the windpipe. That one.
Yes.
Windpipes.
I wanted my esophagus to have it, but not my windpipe.
Esophagus.
Yes.
All right, so we signed pub deal, record deal,
Yeah.
and then what?
And then I moved here.
That's right, you were still in Texas.
Yeah.
Finally
I was
convinced
like-
you to move here.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I was here 3 months, or I was only home in Texas 3 months out of the year, like the years that I was really persistently coming here. And then as soon as I signed pub, I like found this rental property that I walked one time, and it was a townhouse, and it didn't have enough space for my closet. I tell you what, I was in the master, and everything was overflowing and into the hallway. It was crazy.
heavens.
I know. So terrible.
Terrible.
Just kidding. No, but I moved here, and I was writing all the time, and then obviously the record deal came, and I started trying to figure out what I felt like my sound was, and that was a whole process and a journey, and released my first little single called Sparkle.
Sparkles.
Sparkle. Super cute song. But yeah, I've learned a lot in the last few years of just like, it's okay to take your time with things.
Mm-hmm.
I think I always just make I should be here and I should be doing this and whatnot. But the more I write and the more I walk through life, it's like nice, because I think as an artist, I just use them as like little therapy sessions,
Yeah.
and slowly have just like gotten to the core of who I am, and been very open about, the Anthem story, but also like in the midst of everything over the last few years, I was in a very bad narcissistic like relationship, abusive, verbally, physically, all of it, for almost 3 years. And that, like, even though it was horrible, I wrote a lot of amazing songs after that. And I think it like really broke a barrier for me of just making mistakes and like learning to be human and learning how to be an open book with people that need healing, and just trying to use music as exactly what it feels like, which I feel like a lot of people say that it's just a healing thing. And
Sure, yeah. That's the funny thing about music is, we kind of always oversee it as an entertainment value, but also like when you're an artist or songwriter, you can use it as a therapy thing, but then it's also a therapy and healing thing for your listeners too, you know, because you're going through these experiences that a lot of us go through similar experiences, and maybe we don't always have a way of relating to it or not even realizing that other people are going through things. And, especially if it's a private thing and you're going through it and it's hard to deal with, but you're like, oh, wow, Harper has the same experience. Like I've been there. Like I feel what she's saying because I'm going through the same thing, or just, even if it's a happy song, like, well, I was happy and it's fun sharing those experiences, and, that's what it's all about.
Real
It is
gets
what it's all
real.
about.
Real does get real.
Real gets real.
And you talk about being depressed and and going through certain things. That's when I find my most creative outlet.
Yeah.
And Jenna even jokes sometimes. She's like, "I'm going to break up with you next month because the songs you're writing right now are shit.
They suck.
They suck." She said,
"You're too happy.
You're too happy right now. I need you sad."
Yeah.
But it is. I think it brings out other stuff from your brain that you don't know is there.
I think a lot of creatives are like very emotionally in tune with like you have to be. You have to be. Like I'm so emotional all the time. Like whether it's happy, sad, whatever, like I'm just emotional, but then I write about it. Yeah. It's great. But yeah.
Even keel, I'll just make words rhyme. Yep.
Yeah.
It'll have to be one way or the other. It's bipolar David, huh? What?
You always come up with funny little jingles.
That was my nickname in high school.
Funny little jingles.
Jingles?
Here comes David, funny little jingles Tolliver. Yeah.
I like that one. That's probably the best one ever.
That might be the best one. What you got going on right now that you're happy about, that you're proud of?
Actually,
Goose.
I'm super excited. I kind of like finagled a little duet that wasn't supposed to be a duet, but I made it into a duet. Last year during the beginning, March of last year, I went to London for C2C Festival and briefly met Mason Ramsey and just kind of brushed shoulders.
Y'all can yodel together.
I know.
That's the Walmart kid, right?
Yeah, the yodeling
Walmart kid.
But he's not a kid anymore, isn't he?
He's 18.
He's like a dude.
Listen, he's an adult and he's coming out doing all the things.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's adorable. I'm obsessed with him.
Good on him.
And so we kind of chatted a little bit, and his manager also manages a friend of mine, Hallie Kearns, and I just love her to death. And so we connected in the green room of C2C Festival, and then fast forward CMA Fest in Nashville. We're all, going in and out of the Hall of Fame building and to the Artist Lounge. And I was heading up to the Artist Lounge after my performance on the Good Molecules stage outside of Bridgestone. That was I don't remember what stage that is technically. But I was walking back in, and Mason and his manager Pete were standing outside, and I waved at him, and he made more of a comment, "Oh my gosh, hey, how have you been?" And I'm like, I don't remember us fully connecting, but I was kind of "Oh my gosh, Mason, hi, this is great." And I had said that I really wanted to write with him, and I'd love to work together, and so got Pete's contact and texted Pete adamantly and was like, "Oh my gosh, I want to write with Mason. When is he available?" Found a date. And also, I actually didn't realize that I had double booked that date. So I had Mason on a different day, but I was wrong for what it was on my calendar. But it ended up being perfect because I just had a solo write with M Squared, who's they're both named Michael, and they are from Australia, and I love them. And so it was just me and M Squared, and I get a text from Pete "Are you guys still open to write this morning? And I'm going to drop Mason off. Where are we writing?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I thought that was next week." But I looked at my calendar. I'm like, "This is perfect. I'm literally with M Squared, and they're going to do a great track, and this is just awesome." So he gets dropped off at the studio and
dropped off.
Yeah, riding in style, right? But and we go in, and Mason and I aren't close, and he is also, he was 17 at the time, and I'm trying to get him to open up and talk about, something we needed to write something. And finally we kind of break the little barrier and start talking a little bit. And he really wanted to go for a Roy Orbison sound, and the M Squared guys literally nailed it. And we came up with this title called Live Lonely, and it's very it's just so nostalgic. I loved being able to write with him because he's such an old soul, and it also was just really interesting to watch him get creative and open up out of his shell. And so we wrote that song, and while he recorded, he was in a rush to go, and Pete had to take him to another meeting. And so when Pete had called him, Mason got really excited and was like, "We wrote a good one. I think this one's really good." And that excited me. And he was telling, Pete that he thinks he got a song. And he ends up recording quickly, and I go downstairs with Michael, one of the Michaels, and I was like, I need to write a verse to this song. And so while he's recording, I completely scrap his second verse and I write my own verse. And when he left, I said bye to him and Pete, and I immediately went upstairs with the other Michael, and I sang a second verse, and I sang harmonies on the song. And I was like, we can turn in both versions, and we'll see what they like. Well, M Squared did not send the version without me in it. And they sent me that, and they were like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. It felt like Loretta Lynn and Roy Orbison was some sort of time capsule. And they just did such a good job at creating such a nostalgic sound. And I think growing up listening to Dolly Parton and Patsy Cline and connecting so well with Mason, he grew up listening to that with his grandparents. I grew up listening to that with my grandparents. There was just so much connection. He had this young viral moment. I had a young viral moment. It just seemed really, really nice to have, somebody that understood bits and pieces of your life that a lot of people can't fully relate to. And that immense of dynamic. And so a little bit went by, and I hadn't heard the song yet, and I was getting a little antsy because I was like, I really want to hear that so bad. And I was in Arizona, and I got sent the song a week or two before I had to travel to Arizona, and I listened to it, and I was like, this is literally so good. I just loved it. And I sent it to Mason, and Mason is, again, very old soul. Doesn't use his phone. Literally, he is born in the wrong era. He doesn't text. He doesn't social media much at all.
Just yells at all his friends.
Yeah, right. From across the pond.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I sent it to him and just didn't hear anything. And I was like, okay, great. That's just Mason. And I ended up I was in Arizona, and I sent Pete the song. And he was immediately after 3 minutes, after he listened to the song, was called me and was this is incredible. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to show Mason. This is crazy. So they FaceTimed me, and he had a show in Arizona as well. We were 15 minutes from each other, and Mason's FaceTimed me, and Pete's on the phone, and Mason's like, this is so good. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you sang on it. And everyone was just excited. His aunt and uncle were on the phone, and the whole family, wow. Everyone's just this is the best song we've heard of Mason's. We can't wait. This is amazing. And so I was like, okay, great. And he was like, do you want to release a song as a duet? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Sure. Of course. And so, so then the ball kind of kept rolling, and Mason's over at Atlantic, and they get the approval from there. We've been working on it over here on the legal portion, and finally, got everything together. Saturday, we're doing little visuals and stuff for it. The song drops February 7th.
Yeah.
And tonight he's got band rehearsal, and so we have plans to be able to sing the song practically everywhere that we can when Mason's performing and when I'm available. And so I'm really excited because I genuinely love his sound so much. And he's also he's just a little firecracker on stage. He's nervous and stuff. And then he steps foot on stage, and he's like a little Elvis. He's just so talented and so good. And I really mean it when I say I'm obsessed with him. He's great. So
that's awesome.
I'm excited to have something that I'm really passionate about. One that I kind of was able, that happened in general, and we wrote, and then it turned into a duet. And then on top of it, I'm glad I get to do it with somebody that I enjoy and somebody that I believe in, and excited to do so many things with this song. So that's what I'm excited about.
Good.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're proud of you. I think you're an amazingly talented person.
What's the name of that song again?
Yeah.
Live Lonely.
Live Lonely. Coming out February 7th.
There's some
February
little
7th.
yodel flips in there.
Oh, yeah.
There are some yodels, but there's some little
double up yodeling?
the epiglottis be flipping,
Yeah, flip that epiglottis.
Yeah. Do you know what that is? Did you know
that was my nickname in high school?
Another one.
David the Epiglottis Tolliver.
Oh, we love that.
Yeah. Yes, I know what an epiglottis is.
Good
I was going to
job.
medical school.
Yeah. You were going to go to medical.
I was
Wow.
going to be a doctor.
So you know diaphragm, your vocal cord.
I know all of
the
them.
epiglottis,
I know everything
phalanges.
about my body.
epidermis.
I just didn't like sick people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did
That
you
screws it
also give a little like when you thought about it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I worked in the emergency room for a while, and I was just like, I just don't want to do this. This sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you
It's
wrote
like-
songs instead.
Yeah. Then I decided,
Did you write songs in there?
no. I dropped out of school, dropped out of University of Kentucky, quit my job, and moved to Nashville.
Dang.
Yeah.
And then you wrote songs.
Holy shit! I'm in a U-Haul. What am I doing? It was fun.
How long did it take for you to did you get a deal off the bat?
I moved here in 1998, and I had a deal in 2001.
That's when I was born, 2001.
I figured that was going to come into play sometime.
I wasn't even alive in 1998.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that?
I think we should.
Oh.
We used them all, baby.
I think we should
Those
let.
were all the yeah.
I think we should let Harper spin the wheel of shame now.
Yes.
That's what we need
The
to
wheel
do.
of
Have you ever
shame.
Have you ever
America.
spun Wheel of Shame?
No, what is this?
Of shame.
A tortilla slap.
World.
That's a little scary.
Yeah.
Chubby bunny? Oh no.
Oh,
All right, just
yeah.
reach on over here and give her a little spinny spin.
Yeah.
Spin.
Spin.
There's some strange things on here.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's all in code. It's not going to make sense to you, but
No.
we're going to help you figure
It's
the rest of your
spinning
journey of
still.
life through this
Wow.
wheel of shame.
Also, I was sweating before I got in here. I think I need some more deodorant if anybody wanted to know. So please don't come close. I just felt like
was a
I'm
good spin.
nervous again.
Well, I
so
just
then my
farted,
pits-
so it's all good.
Okay. It's like pivoting on Jasper Newton and America, but I think it's more so. What is Jasper Newton?
Are you drinking or are you laying off the sauce? Are you doing the dry January?
I'm laying off the
So
sauce.
do America.
Let's do America.
America.
What
let's
was
put your,
Jasper? Was that like a shot?
Jasper Newton is Jack Daniel's real full legal name, Jasper Newton Daniel.
He changed it too.
And we love Jack.
Yeah, we're going to test your
Daniels.
homeschooling education.
Oh, this is going to plummet for sure. I couldn't even. Is this like a map thing? Because if it's a map thing,
No, it's all dates. It's all historic dates.
oh, well.
It's like
It's
when was the
I'm
American.
Magna
also
Carta,
bad at that
you
too.
know?
My Army Ranger boyfriend.
What
is
year
like,
was 1492 in?
Is that a trick question? I'm not that blonde.
Okay, let's give these
1492.
guys a little shuffle.
Columbus
this
sailed
is
the
gonna be
ocean blue
Really not great.
and killed a bunch
I'm
of
not
people.
going to know.
Are you a
any
good
of these.
sports person? Do you know sports? No. there's no
I'm
good
going to
one.
know none of these.
You're going to know this.
Absolutely not. Like I
Let's
just
see.
genuinely,
I
I
probably
have confidence in
won't.
myself in a lot of areas, and schooling like this, like
Schooling. It's not one of them.
no. I was actually pretty good at math though.
Math.
This might be a good one for you.
I think this is going to be a great one for her.
L. Frank Baum
Ah.
was an American writer famous for a series of children's books about an imaginary land. What was the name of the imaginary land? You know this?
Yes. L. Frank Baum. My youngest daughter just got the lead in the school play, playing this title character, playing this character.
Okay.
The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Yes. So the name of the imaginary land is Oz, and Baum is best known for his book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, which was made into a movie in 1939 starring Judy Garland.
See the wizard. I
Baum
love.
wrote 13 Oz books.
Yeah, dude.
Have you seen the new movie,
I
Wicked?
have seen the new movie.
It's good. I've watched it 30 times with my kids. They love it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maddie,
That's a lot of
absolutely.
It's actually
loves
really
it.
good.
I actually
my wife
saw
and I,
Wicked on Broadway.
Yeah, my
long
wife
time
and I saw it in New York. It's
You're welcome.
good. Okay, and now,
Okay. Oh, that's
before
it.
you,
Nope.
no, you have one more thing to do.
This is your initiation.
Now is our official Twang Town initiation.
Oh no.
And so what I have
What does
here
it consist of? What is that?
is a bottle of smelling salts.
salts.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here.
You're fine. You're gonna be fine.
I've done these before.
Have you?
Well, only like one time when I was working out and I was getting a little weak.
Yeah.
A week, you know.
You're looking a little
weak.
famished right now. We're going to help you out.
Hardcore, you know. I'm,
Yeah.
I know you're real sweaty right now.
Earlier,
This will
yeah.
dry you up.
My
Promise.
pants are so big.
Do I have to stick? Do I have to like?
Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the lid off, and you're going to hold it right here about chin height and go. But you got to give it a proper sniff. Don't get all
I'm
girly on it.
nervous.
You got this.
Just like
You'll be
little
fine. Everyone's done
slack.
it.
Come on. Chin to the chin. To the
To
chin.
the chin.
How do you feel? Can you smell?
It brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
There you go. Cough it up.
Woo!
You needed that.
Yeah! Woo!
Now it's a party.
Oh, Harper, thank you so much for being here today.
You know, I had some mucus in my throat, so that kind of like cleared it up. It's burning.
Yeah.
Left
It'll get you.
nostril.
Yeah, mine fell out.
Tell the folks where they can find you on,
Yeah.
on
gosh.
the World Wide Web of interwebs when you're done coughing up your mucus.
Yeah, there's mucus there.
Yeah.
The interwebs, Harper Grace XO. Don't forget the hugs and the kisses. You know,
Yeah.
Really? XO.
scratching in there.
And that's the same
Just a little
over
dramatic.
Twitter and Instagram.
All
and
the things. It's just, you know,
websites
good old Harper Grace.
Harper
XO.
Grace XO.
Harper
Yeah. Do you ever just like smell those on your
Valley
own?
Grace.
You know what? It's actually, what this particular type is designed for is like bodybuilders. They'll smell it before they have to lift heavy weights.
We call them BBs.
And I'm obviously not a bodybuilder, but
Really?
if they're, I know, you would think.
I would
this
think so.
Physique.
Yeah, Coco. It's like top
If,
tier.
if I'm kind of
She's
dragging
muscle.
and coffee's not doing it, sometimes I actually will get it go. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Kind of need
pin
some.
some
Emails per
songs.
day.
I'm not.
That's right.
I'm not.
My
lying.
hands are
I
ready.
need, I think I need a little bit of it right now.
Oh,
You know what?
my
I'm going
word.
to do it too. If we're all doing it, then I'm
What?
going to do it.
If we're all doing it,
I wish I had that
you
on
put
video.
that very close to your nose.
He's-
Why did you
it's-
not hold it down? What
been a
is
minute.
wrong with you? Why did you do it? Yeah, your body is not built for that. Listen here, Mr.
another
1998 got to Nashville. You're
His eyes are so red.
Red.
His face is red.
Holy
Wow.
shit!
You okay?
No, it's too much.
Did you take a ride?
yeah. He went on a trip there for sure.
Bleeding. My eyes bleeding.
My eyes are bleeding. Are you supposed to film him?
No, we're
No,
Just me.
This is
Okay.
just for you.
Okay.
Oh gosh,
my.
now I'm nervous.
What are you gonna hold
Holy
it to your chin?
Here we go. Yeah, baby.
Well, kids,
Okay.
don't
Harper,
get the
I can
sniffing
breathe
salts.
really good out of that right
Thank
nostril
you
right
so
now.
much for being here and hanging out with us
Guys,
and
this
telling
was
us your
fun.
story.
This was so much fun.
I know. I loved this. 10 out of 10 top
10 out of 10.
podcast.
Y'all go check out Harper. Check out her new music.
How's your nostrils?
Her
He's crying too
song
now.
coming out February 7th.
Has Jolene come out?
Jolene has come out.
Jolene is out.
Jolene is out.
Jolene.
I had a
say this
Jolene.
before we go. Harper put out a new version of Jolene.
It's
And
fabulous.
it's actually like
He's crying. It's
a
so
lot
good.
of people.
Yeah,
a lot of
it's so
people have
good.
recorded that song, and I'm not saying this because you're here.
yeah,
But
you
I
are.
remember when I first heard it, I was like, "Wow, like you killed it!" Like that's actually one of my favorite renditions of that
really?
song. Probably like top 3.
That's really great.
So kudos
glad
to
to
you,
hear
y'all.
that.
Y'all go check out her version of Jolene and all her music, and
All
and
the
look
things.
for. I'm sorry, tell me the name of the song one more time.
Oh, Live Lonely.
Live Lonely
with Mason Ramsey.
Mason Ramsey.
Mason Ramsey. Yodeler.
Well,
Yeah.
gang,
Tell 'em where they
you
can
can
find us,
find
Colt.
us on all streaming platforms. We can follow us
yeah.
on Facebook, Twitter, and
like.
Instagram. And we need you to go like our pages. We need you to go subscribe to our pages.
Subscribe.
Go into Apple Music
Double
or
tap.
Apple Podcast app or Spotify and rate it. And
Donate.
comment.
Just give us money.
Yeah, go check everything out, guys. Come
Yeah.
on, help support the show so we
Yeah.
can keep bringing you amazing content.
Support the show.
Support my show.
And this is
Please
our
support the show.
first show of 2025. So
Support the show.
I'm honored.
Let's go.
First episode of the year. Great
I'm
time.
really aware of my right nostril right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my left nostril is
and my
also.
right tear duct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Harper,
See ya.
thank you so
Amazing
much for
prep
coming
for
on.
the
Appreciate
night.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.